The Obvious Oasis, Mirage to Miracle. Here is a short story about Felipe, a desert traveler who discovers that the way out of mind-wandering is not to struggle harder, rush ahead, or rescue the world, but to pause, listen, and follow the quiet light within. Felipe crossed the great desert carrying maps, ropes, water flasks, and a large wooden sign that read, "This way to salvation." He believed he had an important mission. He would gather every lost traveler, explain the desert, warn them about danger, and lead them to the oasis. Whenever Felipe saw someone wandering among the dunes, he waved his sign and shouted, "Follow me, I know the way." The trouble was, Felipe did not know the way. He had studied many maps, but each one pointed in a different direction. He remembered paths that had worked yesterday and assumed they would work again today. He raced toward every shimmer on the horizon, convinced that the next mirage must be water. Still, he kept preaching directions. Some travelers followed him, others walked away. Felipe measured his success by how many people stayed near his sign. When they listened, he felt important. When they left, he felt rejected. When they questioned him, he spoke louder. One afternoon, Felipe saw the brightest oasis he had ever seen. Palm trees sparkled beneath a blue sky, and silver water seemed to dance between them. "This is it," he cried. "The future oasis! We must reach it quickly." A quiet traveler beside him said, "Perhaps we should wait for the light." But Felipe was already running. He imagined the celebration that awaited him. People would thank him. They would call him a wise guide. His passion for the future grew so strong that he stopped noticing the ground beneath his feet. Then the sand swallowed his boots. Felipe tried to leap forward, but his legs sank deeper. "Quicksand!" he shouted. He pulled, pushed, twisted, and fought. Every frantic movement dragged him farther down. "Somebody save me!" he cried. The quiet traveler remained at a safe distance. "Stop struggling." "I cannot stop. I am sinking." "You are sinking because you are struggling." Felipe froze. For the first time all day, he became still. The sand stopped pulling him downward. "Now lean back," the traveler said. "Let the ground support you. Move slowly, one step at a time." Felipe released his sign. It landed beside him and disappeared into the sand. Then he leaned back, breathed, and listened. Slowly, carefully, he moved one leg, then the other, until he rolled onto solid ground. He lay beneath the open sky, exhausted and embarrassed. "The oasis was so obvious," he whispered. "The mirage was obvious," said the traveler. "So was the quicksand. You simply rushed ahead of the light." Felipe covered his face. The truth felt inconvenient. He wanted the problem to be complicated. A broken compass, a cursed desert, or travelers who had failed to listen. Instead, the mistake was painfully simple. He had followed his own thoughts without pausing to ask where they led. The quiet traveler knelt beside him. "You do not need to be ashamed. The ego finds simple truth embarrassing because simple truth asks for a change of mind. It would rather send you across the entire desert than let you become still for one honest moment." Felipe sat up. "Then how do I leave the desert?" "When you notice you are wandering, leave." Felipe looked across the endless dunes. "Leave how?" "Withdraw your belief from the wandering thought. Stop making the mirage important. Pray, listen, and allow the next step to be shown." Felipe wanted a complete map, but none was offered. He wanted assurance about the outcome, but none was given. Instead, the traveler pointed toward a small circle of shade beneath a nearby rock. "Rest there. That is all. That is the next step." Felipe almost laughed. He had expected a grand command. Yet he followed. Beneath the rock, he found a clay cup filled with cool water. Beside it was a simple message carved into the stone: "Do not go ahead of the light." Felipe drank slowly. Peace returned, not because the desert had changed, but because his purpose had changed. He no longer needed to conquer the dunes, collect followers, or prove that he could save anyone. He began to understand that a human being was like a package of old beliefs, past associations, fears, roles, and remembered directions. The package claimed that love and fear were equally real. It called its make-believe world realistic and treated peace as foolish. Felipe saw that salvation did not mean dragging everyone toward his preferred horizon. It meant allowing his perception to be healed. From a peaceful mind, compassion became natural. He could show another traveler that they were loved and worthy without controlling where they went or demanding a particular result. The next morning, Felipe heard a quiet inner instruction: walk toward the rising light. He obeyed. Not 10 miles. Not the whole journey. One step. When the light paused, Felipe paused. When it moved, he moved. He let spirit remain one step ahead of his mind. By noon he reached a cluster of palms surrounding clear blue water. There were no banners, crowds, or speeches. The oasis had been nearby all along, hidden behind the dune he had been trying to conquer. Felipe knelt beside the water and smiled. The miracle was not that the Mirage had become real. The miracle was that he no longer wanted the Mirage. From that day forward, when travellers asked him for directions, Felipe did not raise a sign or gather a crowd. He became quiet and listened. Sometimes he spoke, sometimes he rested, sometimes he simply offered water, and whenever his mind wandered into the desert of past associations or future fantasies, he remembered the obvious instruction: leave the desert. Be still. Let the light go first. May we sing, rest, and dance our way home together.